Alrighty, I think it's time to get ready. Let me know if you guys can hear me and all that fun. Sweet. Welcome everybody, and welcome to some of the new faces I see that are here. I'm just going to go through our usual disclaimer that we go through every time we do this. So this is really styled to be an open Q&A style thing where you guys can ask questions, and if we can, we'll answer them. But there are certain topics and information that we cannot discuss, including anything abuse appeal-wise, warnings, suspensions, account terminations, any kind of moderation action we've done. Can't discuss that. We also can't discuss any specific information or outcomes of any open or past abuse reports, that kind of thing. So there may be other things that we can't really discuss just because it'll, disclose our secrets to how we catch the bad guys. So there's certain things that we can't discuss for, all sorts of reasons. So I'm going to drop that in there. But we'll answer what we can, and, our goal here is to try and alleviate any confusion or guide people on how to properly, report or handle various things. So I will leave the floor to you guys. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Also, if you're not comfortable using voice or you can't use voice for any reason, feel free to drop it in chat. We'll be monitoring that as well. So the floor is yours. If anybody has any questions. We got a question about abuse report categories. Usually with those, you can always just pick one that fits the best. Let me report and not return this campfire so I can refresh my memory on the categories. So for disclosure, you can always put that in harassment. That works pretty much fine. Bots, you could probably put in harassment. You could technically put it in disturbing the peace or land encroachment. There's really not a specific category for it, but any of those would work just fine. Probably disturbance of peace would probably be the best part for that one. Land encroachment would probably indicate that someone might have their bots encroaching on someone else's land, which is sketchy and weird. Don't usually see that, but either of those, whichever one that seems to fit the situation best, will work just fine. Oh yeah, there's disclosure of real-life information. Now, if someone is disclosing real-life information, you can put in there, but chat logs, it's usually technically not that. So sometimes we see it in that too. Report categories haven't been changed in quite a long time. But it could also depend on what viewer you are. Some viewers aren't quite up to sync with what we have right now.
Where does it go if you fall under a category that no longer exists? Do you still get it?
Yeah, we'll still get them. I think they just end up popping up for us, and whatever the old one it was, or it gets linked into what's the new one. So we'll still get it even if there's no category for it. We actually used to have an other category. The problem with that is just it gets end up just piled on with so much random stuff. It's really hard for us to sort through and try and triage things out of it. So we have it cleaned up into like, you know, the kind of most commonly reported stuff that people would encounter. So of course right now the other category is, well, what's being used as the other category is the gaming policy violation category because people are misunderstanding what it's for. It's supposed to be for skill gaming policy violations, but people just think it's, oh, general policy violation of the game. I'm like, it's not. Thanks. Great. If you could, Sam, go ahead and file another abuse report on that one. I can make sure that it's getting looked into. Chances could be that we just may have not gotten it to it yet. Or maybe we just missed something the first time around if we have already investigated. But if it's still happening, definitely file a report and I'll make sure we got eyes on it. And Torque, the category used to be wagering and gambling, but since I think it got changed because technically there is no, or there shouldn't be gambling in here. It got changed ages ago. I can't remember why. But that's what it's been renamed to. And I see we have a question about some stuff on the cloud and cheaper land prices. Unfortunately, this is not the group that answers that. We don't handle that kind of stuff. This is for the governance team, so we handle all the in-world abuse issues and stuff like that. We don't do anything as far as migrating stuff to the cloud or, you know, tinkering with land prices. So just to clear that one up for you.
Another question for you, Kristin. You know that Christmas is the time for all these frauds and cons and phishing links and stuff. Do you guys actually work over the Christmas season, or is there cover?
Yep. So support never sleeps. So there's we might have not as much coverage as we usually would, as most companies that work support. You know, usually will have people on hand. So we will definitely have people around around Christmas time. To keep an eye out for things and people acting like butts and all that fun stuff. Oh, really? Someone trying to sell Bitcoins. If you haven't already, go ahead and report that one. That's usually a cross-investigation between my team and our compliance team, depending on what they're doing. Oh, sweet. So if we haven't gotten to it already, I'm sure we will soon. So that's definitely one of interest. Yeah, fortunately, we don't see too many Bitcoin sellers. Every once in a while, we'll see somebody say, hey, want to trade my Lindens for Bitcoin? I'm like, who uses Bitcoin? Get out of here. Go.
So what is the regulation? Sorry, I've come in late, people, and hi, I'm altered. The Bitcoin regulations in here, it'd be fake Bitcoins, that could be a big problem. But if you wanted to trade in Bitcoin in here legitimately through your hashes, and I obviously do Bitcoin, but if I wanted to trade in here outside of Linden, outside of SL, can that be done? Like, still sell products in here but use hashtags?
So our main concern with Bitcoin or is some people like to exchange Bitcoins for Linden dollars, and Linden dollars can only be purchased through the Lindex and all that kind of stuff. So that's usually our main concern. As far as anything else, I'm not too sure. I can't say I've come across any. Describing.
Yeah, I was considering putting a Bitcoin option on some of the products that I want to bring into and sell. So basically, you've got your Linden's choice, a PayPal choice, or a Bitcoin choice with things that I've yet to find anything in TOS for Bitcoin. Yeah. Just curious.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on that. I would probably suggest maybe filing a support ticket, and either us or maybe our fraud team might be able to dig a little bit more and see what would and wouldn't be okay.
I'll get in Kona's ear when I can catch him. And sit down and have a chat.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to definitely explore different options. I mean, I'm quite happy with how you guys have got our transactions and that set up, but it's good to have other options because a lot of people still can't really afford, Linden's or because of exchange rates. I mean, it costs me almost 30% more to bring Linden here because I'm in another. So, a $40 Linden, US Linden purchase could end up costing me 50 or the exchange rate's not right, 60 Australian dollars to play a game. Yeah. So other options, payment options, is a good thing if we can do it. This is a big group today. I guess you'd be going on too. I mean, we had the same issue years ago with the banking and the fake Lindens coming in. Were you guys around for that?
If we're talking about the authorized reseller program or resellers in general, we had to shut that down, unfortunately.
I know.
Which I know a lot of people were sad about because of exchange rates, and those are a good way for people to. But it was way too dangerous of a vector to keep going.
Tell me about it. My business got shut down in here because someone had brought fake Lindens in and purchased products of mine, and for some unknown reason, that wasn't looked at. Didn't matter how many times I said, but I didn't bring those fake Lindens in. Someone purchased, and it took almost 5 days before someone even got off their rear ends at Linden Labs, sorry if I sound blunt, to look at my transaction records properly to see that I wasn't the guilty party. Because it was on an automated system, and then when I did phone, I had to get help. I had the phone slammed down in my ear, and they said, "Oh, we can't deal with you. This is a fraudulent matter," and they hung up on me. And geez, so lucky I stayed in the damn game.
Yeah,
it was a rotten way of being treated. No, for an innocent person that had a big business at that time. I scaled down, became a normal player. You did lose that side of me. But, I know I can be pretty harsh, but I'm an Aussie. That's, I'm not taking that on you guys, but that fake Bitcoin thing would seem very similar to what happened in the past and the baking and the exchange.
I'm so sorry you had such a rough time those years ago.
But that was years ago.
Who was handling that team-wise, but we're always trying to improve on that, and I can assure you that if anybody on my team had that reaction to a customer, they would get a chewing out from me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I didn't
things are better
bother.
for you now.
Well, there's no reason for me to deal on that level anymore. It was just a shame that it had come to that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That makes it a little bit harder, doesn't it?
All right, so we got about math, just under 40 minutes left. So if anybody else has any additional questions, feel free to ask.
It is conning season. Yes, the world has gone into a full-blown let's con everyone. I saw a beautiful example in here yesterday. They soon found out what Altered's happy place means. Oh. So what else are you covering in here today, or what were you looking at?
This is just general Q&A, so it's whatever you guys bring up. See, we got a question about Belisarius. Yeah, I understand the spelling on that one's rough. I'm just like, call it Belly. It's so much easier. Yeah, I give up spelling it after like the fourth word or letter. I'm like, no. Are you still working up on that question there? Let's see. And to answer your question on that one, Lucy, that is definitely not allowed and looks similar to ones I've handled in the past. So if you haven't already, please report it and we will take a look. Cool. If there's already a report on it, we will take a look and see if there's anything else we need to do further. Also, keep in mind that just because a report is filed doesn't necessarily mean that if we do find evidence of something, that it doesn't necessarily mean that the person's going to be banned. We do try to do more of a educational approach, so there'll be multiple warnings and suspensions issued before we actually do terminate somebody. So if you are seeing something that you're reporting repeatedly over and over again, and it looks like nothing's being done, chances are we might actually be doing stuff behind the scenes that you guys don't see.
And why can't you give the feedback to the person that's done the report then, so they're not wasting their time doing the same thing?
So when you file an abuse report, you should get an email saying that you won't get a response. We do not respond to abuse reports. Though if we do happen to see somebody who might be filing a lot of abuse reports on something that isn't necessarily against the rules, or we see that they're trying but they're just not giving us enough information, there might be some instance where we might reach out to the person and be like, hey, so we've seen your reports and we just want to give you a little bit of guidance and some ways for you to tweak your reports to make them, more efficient for us to look into.
Yeah,
all that
they're
stuff.
efficient for you, but the thing is that we're the people that have to put up with the junk. And we don't get a response from you saying that this is the action that we're taking because of your report. To even finalise a report tells us that, well, gives us the impression that you guys are doing nothing. Can't you see that?
So
it's the feedback we need as players in world to show that you guys can competently do your job, and we're not seeing that because you're not giving us the proper feedback for it.
So the one main reason why we don't reply to abuse reports or why we don't give more information back to the reporter abuse reports is because of our privacy policy. We cannot tell another person what we've done to somebody else's account. So that's why we do that. So unfortunately,
but you can still say that you've looked into it. We don't find anything here, or we're looking into it. We know who we've reported. We know that you can't give us the privacy information, but we still want the feedback to show that you are doing something. And we're not getting that. And that's really important in any platform, whether it is real life or not. If I sent an email to my electricity company because they sent me a too high a bill and they didn't respond to that or no feedback, I'm going to get shirty. I pump hundreds of dollars real life money into this game. I expect feedback when I put a report in. It's just quality, especially taking real life funds from people. And we, as people who support Linden Labs, by in here playing and pumping our money into this game, can't even get basics. It's really disconcerting for us players. So you really do have to think your policy. We know the account you're looking at because we've put the report. We just want common courtesy, some feedback. That should make sense. You don't treat people like that. You don't take their money, take their reports, and then ignore them from there with no feedback.
All right. Well, I do appreciate your. I know the word feedback's being thrown around here a lot, but I do appreciate your feedback on that. And I know that, and there's a lot of instances where people just feel like they're not being heard. But I can assure you, we are looking at these reports. We are.
Yeah, and we've heard that for the last 16 years. Please be reassured that we're doing the right thing. But still, nothing's really changed. It's always please be assured, please be assured. Sorry, that doesn't wash after a while. It really doesn't. Not when you're pumping money into this game. And I know that's my choice to do that, and that's the choice of a lot of people in here to do that because we really enjoy being here. It is up to you guys too to make sure that we get the proper feedback when you are doing things, especially things that we have reported to you as game players and the ones that do keep Second Life. Simple common courtesy. You expect it from your players, well, we expect it from you too.
All right. Well, just know that we're not trying to do anything malicious, and we're not trying to be rude when we do this. There are certain policies that we have to put in place that we have to follow for various reasons that we can't get into.
But as I said, we know with the accounts we've reported. We would just like to know that when we report them, that something has been done, even if it's just saying that we're not going to do anything because we don't class it as an issue. It's not against TOS or, we've dealt with it. Thank you for your time and effort. Common courtesy. Very simple to do.
Let's see. I see Nate had a question about how the average time from report to resolution. This really depends on multiple factors. How backlogged we are. If we have a huge backlog, it might take us a little bit to get to them. It also depends on the issue and how complex it is. Some reports, they can take a few minutes to be like, yep, this is what I'm looking for, especially if the report is great. Be like, boom, 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 this is what we need. If it's really complex, it could take several hours, sometimes days. It really depends on what we're looking at. some of these investigations can take quite a bit of time.
Kristin, do you ever contact the person who's filed the abuse report and ask for more information? Or if there isn't enough information in that, is that just closed and moved on?
Usually not. It really depends. If it seems like something where we really want to reach out and be like, hey, we need a little bit more information, especially if it seems like there's some issue and we really, really want to get to the bottom of it, but usually don't, because that's just a lot of additional back and forth time for us. Especially when, time is of the essence when we're having to go through all the reports that we have in addition to all of our other duties. So it's not a commonplace thing, but it can happen depending on what the issue might be, especially if we notice somebody who's just really upset over an issue and they keep on filing reports and we realize that, we need a little bit more or what they're sending us isn't because I think I've had a few instances where we've had to reach out to somebody and be like, hey, so I see we're trying to report this, just so you know, here's, the best way to report this particular thing. But in most cases we don't. We just move along into the next one because we got to get to all the other reports that we have in our system and handle those things.
Do you get a lot of misfiled ones? I mean, in a percentage, would you say that like half of them are actually inaccurate?
As far as just not being in the right category, or just things that are being reported that we don't do much with, or just don't have enough information?
Things that are just a non-event. I mean, people often say they're going to report things that are unreportable, don't they? Well, I get that all the time, but I don't know about the rest of you.
It's a pretty good mixed bag. I mean, we do get things where it's just like, they're being mean. We're like, okay. It's like, what do you mean they're being mean? Did they just, call you a butthead? Are they being rude? Did you block them? Are they actually trying to go after you and trying to harass you? So we'll get stuff like that, or, usually it's just, they're mean, or, oh my God, they're naked and they're in an adult region. And I'm like, oh no, how dare they? That kind of stuff. So it's a mixed bag. A lot of a good chunk of it is just stuff that we either have no clue what they're reporting, or it's just stuff we don't get involved with. And then there's the other chunk where it's just things that we need to go dig through and actually action on.
You get a lot of spurious guff then?
Yeah, we get a mixed bag of all sorts of weird and random things. Sometimes they kind of brighten our day, especially when we get some of the really dark and depressing and just serious reports, and then we see something else later, like they peed on me. I'm like, oh, that warms my soul. Like, sorry.
We wish that you could share some of those.
Oh man, there's so many, but unfortunately, I can't share those. So we get some hilarious ones. I'm like, really? Why did you report this? Why did you put that in the report? Okay. Let me scroll up and see if I missed any questions. So we have a question if there's a report in the wrong category. If it's in the wrong category, it just means it's on our side, it's just filtered in a different place for us. So it might, we might not see it right away. It just really depends. But we'll still get a report either way. So the report doesn't vanish. It's just, say if you have something that's actually more of a serious issue and you kind of put it in some other reporting category, it might just make it not show up as a serious issue to us. So we'll still get them. It's just the way we sort through them. It might impact on when we get to see it. But we try to go through, oldest to newest and all that fun stuff. So we had a question about a tip jar for a DJ, not TJ, and a party considered commercial. I guess it depends on the situation. With stuff in Belisario, we try to look at it at a way of trying to really determine if someone is really intending on trying to run a business through their home, or if, maybe they just had thrown a birthday party and they hired a DJ and, maybe they have a tip jar. I don't think that would be a huge deal. But again, we just have to look at it and see what the intentions were.
And what about charity organisations? How do you guys monitor people collecting for charities?
So charity stuff, that's actually if we have someone who, say, they collected for a charity and then they are looking to process that out as a process credit request, that would actually be reviewed by our compliance team, so they can look into it and double check just all the stuff that they look into. So it's not a thing that governance handles for charity stuff.
Right. So if I wanted to hold a charity event here and make it legitimate, a charity event, I'd have to go to a different group. And so I'd like Linden Labs to be behind this as well, if possible. It's something a group of us are putting together. Very similar to what Kitty Cat's done recently. And the Play for Life, but still going partly. But registered charities, that's a huge amount of money to go through.
Yeah, unfortunately, charity stuff is not handled by this team. I don't think there is a team that has a user group on it right now.
Because I see so many groups in here that are doing things for charities, and how do we know that these are legitimate? That's yeah. But anyway, I'll do some more research because it's not until next year we want to do this anyway.
Cool. Let's see. It looks like we had a question about certain kind of Visa cards to be like as payment information. Fortunately, my team doesn't do any billing there, for instance, Caddy. So if you have any issues with any payment information, trying to add it, that kind of stuff, I would definitely either recommend calling our billing line or submitting a case so you can talk to our billing team. Oh yeah, obviously if you're in an area where it is kind of expensive to make an international call to billing, definitely submit a ticket. They're pretty quick on getting back to people on that team, so they'll be more than happy to answer any questions and concerns about your billing woes there. Looks like we got about 20-ish minutes to go, so if anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask. If not, we can wrap this up early. What's your question there, Logan? Well, that doesn't sound too pleasant. If there's a bunch of regions down, there could be many reasons for that, some of which this team doesn't even handle. Obviously, if it's for a griefing issue, then my team gets notified, but I'm not aware of any, at least on my side, that it might be an issue for me and my team. So it could be something that another team might be looking into.
It's alright, Logan. It's when you've got to go hunting for your sim because it's not in the location where you left it before the start. That's fun. That happened to me a few weeks ago. I kept getting a message saying I was being routed to the wrong place. It went walkies across the grid. And even I had a giggle about that one. It happens.
I totally understand there's a bit of a gap there with support hours, especially since regions can and do go offline outside of our hours. Unfortunately, this is not the place where we can, really address that. That's well beyond my pay grade right there. But we do understand, that it's a bit of a pain point for some of our residents whenever regions do go offline outside of support hours. And obviously, if we're not around, we can't do anything to really bring them back up.
So that's another thing that we've got an issue with as players. It's an international platform, but you don't have international support. You work within your own time zone. Again, yeah, that really needs to be changed. International platform needs international support.
See, we have a bit of a side discussion about something we need to go discuss with the web team. So we'll dig into that a little bit more after this and have a little chat and see what's up with that one. But in the meantime, we got about 15 minutes left. So does anybody else have any last minute questions, or go ahead and wrap this up? All right. Well, if nobody else has anything else, I'm going to go and wrap this up. Thank you guys for stopping by and joining. We definitely appreciate all the questions and feedback. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening, whatever time of the day or night it may be. This will probably be the last meeting up until the next year, so we will update that wiki page, which I have a link somewhere again. Keep an eye out here for whenever the next one will be. Once I figure out the proper date, once we get back from the fun times of holidays, it'll be posted there. So I will see you guys in the new year, and hope you guys have a good one.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Thanks for listening to me, Wedge, and happy bah humbug, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. We are going to say Merry Christmas again.